Imagine for a moment that everything you feel, think, and believe is not locked inside you. Imagine that these invisible elements form a kind of code, a signal constantly emitted to something much greater, and that this something greater is not indifferent to you. On the contrary, it responds precisely to each of your emissions. But if this is true, then the life you are living now is not random. It is a reflection, a direct response to a vibration that you may not even know you are sustaining. A silent conversation with an intelligent, invisible, and highly sensitive field, the universe. Many believe that this conversation begins with requests, affirmations, or prayers. But what if true dialogue has been happening since the beginning? What if the language used is not verbal, but energetic? What if, instead of phrases, what determines your reality is the emotional frequency you vibrate every second? This is the basis of the knowledge of ancient civilizations. Peoples who, long before modern science, understood that human beings were not just bodies in motion, but vibrational fields in constant interaction with the whole. In ancient Egypt, priests knew that temples were not just places of worship. They were points of energetic communication. Every stone, every symbol, every direction was chosen for a specific purpose, to align humans with the cosmos. When they observed the sky, it was not out of curiosity. It was out of attunement. They knew that reality responded to what was being emitted in silence. In India, the Vedic sages deepened this understanding and left records. According to their teachings, the universe is not a mechanical system, but a field of consciousness in constant vibration. They called this original vibration Brahman, an infinite presence that is in everything, including within you. But how does this presence respond? What is the language that activates this connection? It is not speech. It is the vibrational state. It is the feeling experienced with such authenticity that it becomes the dominant frequency in your field. You could say 1,000 times that you want love, but if you feel abandoned all the time, the signal you are sending out is the opposite of what you want. In the universe, being a vibrational mirror does not react to what you want. It reflects what you are now. Most people live trying to fix the outside world, without realizing that the visible world is only the last layer of a process that begins within. First comes vibration, then form. First emotion, then circumstance. And this is not spiritual theory. It is vibrational physics. Everything that exists is in motion. Every thought is a wave. Every feeling is an emission. Every intention generates a field. This is the real conversation, and you are in it all the time. Even now, as you read these words, something in you is reacting. Some frequency is moving. Some field is being touched. This is vibrational language, a communication that does not need sound, but which produces real impact. The ancients understood this deeply. That is why they used practices such as mantras, conscious breathing, and visualizations not as magical rituals, but as ways of encoding reality. They knew that when they chanted a specific sound with clear intention, something aligned. A bridge was created between the inner and outer worlds. The sound of Om, for example, was not only sacred by tradition, it was recognized as the base frequency of the universe. When pronounced correctly, the body resonated with this primordial vibration. It was like tuning an antenna to pick up a specific station. This sound activated internal energy centers, awakened clarity, and reorganized patterns. Not because of belief, but because of experience. The body responded, the mind quieted, the field expanded, and the universe, in response, offered clear signs of alignment. But for this to work, you need to understand one essential thing. It's no use just repeating phrases or rushing through visualizations. Manifestation does not happen through the amount of effort, but but through the quality of the vibration. It doesn't matter what you say. What matters is what you truly believe. And what you believe is what you feel most consistently. That's why so many people fail to manifest what they want. They want good things, but they carry opposite feelings. They vibrate scarcity while asking for prosperity. They vibrate insecurity while asking for love. They vibrate doubt while trying to activate faith. The result? More of the same. Because the universe is exact. It perfectly returns the dominant frequency of your field. That is why the ancient sages spoke so much about inner purification. Not in a moralistic sense, but in a vibrational sense. Clearing dense emotions, releasing blocks, healing patterns, making the field lighter, clearer, more coherent. And how do you do that? The first key is conscious presence. Observe yourself with sincerity. Notice what you are feeling right now, without judgment. Take a deep breath and allow the emotion to emerge. This simple act of paying attention begins to change everything. Because where there is presence, there is light. And where there is light, density cannot exist. The second key is emotion as language. Train your body to feel what you want to experience, not as an illusion, but as a vibrational choice. Want love? Feel loved. Want peace? Breathe as if you are already at peace. Want abundance? Act as if you're already prosperous inside. This is the real vibrational work, and it doesn't take years of practice. It takes consistency, truth, commitment. The third key is recognizing the universal flow, knowing that you are not separate from the universe, that your consciousness is part of it, that your feelings are not being ignored. They are the raw material of creation. The universe doesn't expect you to be perfect. It just needs you to be true, for your vibration to be in coherence with what you want to experience, for your presence to be so clear that reality can't resist it. You're not talking to the universe as if you were talking to someone far away. You're the universe talking to itself, trying to remember. And that is exactly why your frequency matters. Because it is the language that moves reality. There is a silent difference between wishing and vibrating. Desire is an impulse that comes from a mind. Vibration is the language that comes from being. And the universe does not respond to what is said. It resonates with what remains a constant field. You could say you want love, but if inside you there is fear of rejection, pain from past experiences, or feelings of unworthiness, what is being transmitted is not desire. It is the wound. And the field does not distinguish between intention and emission. It simply returns. This is one of the deepest truths taught by the ancient masters. It is not about thinking positively or repeating affirmations. It is about entering a vibrational state compatible with what you want to experience. This compatibility is not intellectual. It is energetic. It is emotional. The Vedic sages called this bhava, the internal state that determines the quality of the external experience. What you feel deeply, even if you don't verbalize it, shapes the space around you. Because your vibration precedes your action. It comes before words, before decisions. That's why true manifestation doesn't start with a request. It starts with alignment. If you seek prosperity, ask yourself, what do I hold inside in relation to money? Do you vibrate lightness or scarcity, security or guilt? When you think of abundance, does your body relax or tense up? This answer is more revealing than any technique. Similarly, if your desire is for true love, look within. Do you love yourself? Do you feel worthy of being loved? Do you trust in surrender or fear abandonment? The real vibration is hidden in these silent answers. And it is what defines what comes to you or doesn't. The universe does not work by merit, but by frequency. This is why so many people are frustrated with empty affirmations. They repeat phrases every day, but internally they don't believe them. The field does not recognize what is said with the mouth. It recognizes what is held in the heart. This wisdom is found in traditions on every continent. Native Americans, for example, taught that the most powerful prayer was not the one spoken. It was the one felt. They danced with the sky, celebrated with the earth, and felt part of everything. The ritual was not a way of asking. It was a way of remembering who they were. And that is the secret. It is not about achieving something. It is about becoming compatible with what is already available. Abundance, love, peace, all of these already exist as frequencies. The only question is, are you tuned in? In modern science, this idea is beginning to find echoes in quantum physics. Experiments show that the observer's consciousness affects the behavior of matter, that the environment responds to intention, that subatomic particles organize themselves based on expectation. But while science is still studying, the ancients already knew. They lived according to this reality. Chinese medicine, for example, treats illnesses by observing emotional fields. Energy meridians are not just theoretical lines. They are communication pathways between the internal and external. Mantras are not just sounds. They are vibrational formulas. Om, Soham, Shreem, each one acts in a different field. Correct vocalization, done with intention, not only calms the mind, but transforms the body's electromagnetic field. Sound is vibration, and vibration is everything. In yoga, the use of mudras, hand gestures, also follows this logic. Each position changes the way energy flows. It is not symbolism. It is energy engineering. And when these practices come together, conscious breathing, sacred sound, intentional gesture, true emotion, a coherent vibrational field is created. And that field begins to shape reality with a precision that seems magical, but it is not. It is forgotten science. Visualization is another powerful tool, but it needs to be understood. It is not enough to see something in your mind. You have to feel as if it is already happening. The body has to believe it. The nervous system has to register it as real. When that happens, the vibration changes, and the field begins to respond. Tibetan monks visualize not with their intellect, but with their bodies. They feel it. They breathe within the image. They live it before any manifestation. And what happens? Miracles, healings, inexplicable changes. The key word here is coherence. When thought, emotion, intention, and action vibrate in harmony, the field aligns. And in that alignment, everything adjusts. But most people live in internal conflict. They want one thing, feel another, do the opposite, and then they complain that reality doesn't change. How could it? The signal being sent is confusing. The field only responds clearly when the vibration is stable. And how do you stabilize it? First, by acknowledging what you feel, without denying it, without resisting it. If there is pain, it needs to be seen. If there is fear, it needs to be embraced. Because everything that is repressed becomes noise in the field, and noise prevents attunement. Then purify. This can be done with simple practices, meditation, fasting from stimuli, silence, contact with nature. The cleaner the field, the more sensitive it becomes. And the more sensitive, the clearer the listening. Next, choose the state you want to sustain. Love, gratitude, joy, peace. Not as a reaction, but as creation. You can choose to feel gratitude right now, even without an external reason. And that state changes your vibration. And that vibration changes reality. The universe does not wait for you to achieve something in order to respond. It responds to what you are vibrating right now. And that is liberating, because it means that you are not at the mercy of others. You are the creator of your frequency, and consequently, of your experience. But beware, this power is not automatic. It requires presence, awareness, choice. It is easier to react to the world than to co-create with it. But freedom lies in co-creation, and co-creation begins with a new kind of listening. Have you noticed the signs? Those coincidences that seem like messages? The numbers repeating on the clock? The song that plays at just the right moment? The conversation that answers your question? All of this is the field speaking. The universe communicates subtly. It does not invade. It suggests. It guides. And the more you listen, the more it speaks. But you have to learn to listen. And listening is not interpreting with your mind. It is feeling with your heart. That is why the masters would retreat to quiet places. It was not an escape. It was attunement. In silence, the signs become clearer. Intuition grows stronger. Inner listening amplifies. And intuition is the compass of vibration. It shows when the field is aligned or misaligned. It says yes or no without words. Is the voice of your field talking to the larger field? Are you listening? Take a deep breath now. Bring to mind something you really want. Don't think, just feel. What does your body say? Is there contraction or expansion? Is there lightness or resistance? That feeling is the current vibration, and it is truer than any phrase. If there is resistance, don't force it. Just observe, accept, and choose something lighter, something more consistent with who you want to become. Because the secret is not in wanting, it is in being. Reality bows before those who vibrate with truth, those who feel with presence, those who act with clarity, no matter what the world says. The field responds to vibrational coherence, and you can train this. Each morning, choose a state. Gratitude, for example. Breathe it in. Feel it. Take it into your body. Take it into your gaze. Take it into your words. And observe what changes, because it will change. Don't underestimate the power of the invisible. The greatest transformations don't start outside. They are born in the field. And you are the field. You are vibration. You're a living message. That is what talking to the universe is all about. An energetic dance between what you feel and what you experience. A silent exchange where everything you are comes back to you in the form of shapes, faces, events, and signs. Are you ready to change the conversation? There is a point of energy in the center of the mind that, for millennia, has been revered as the bridge between the human and the divine. An internal crystal, small in size but colossal in spiritual power, the pineal gland. In modern language, is studied for its sensitivity to light. In ancient traditions, it is called the secret door. The ancients did not view the pineal as just another anatomical structure. They considered it a dormant eye, one that, when opened, reveals that there was never any separation between what is seen and what sees. The awakening of this energy center in the teachings of yoga is the activation of the state of unity. Over time, and with the distractions of the world, this perception has become obscured, but it has never been lost. It has only been silenced. Activating the pineal gland is not magic. It is reconnection. It is silence. It is frequency. Breathing deeply, chanting sounds like OM, focusing your attention on the point between your eyebrows. All of these are keys. Every ancient practice involving breathing, mantras, and focus was designed not to calm the body, but to open the channel. When the pineal gland vibrates with clarity, something changes. Intuition amplifies. The perception of reality is transformed. Signs become clearer, and the field becomes more responsive. This gland, considered by science to be a regulator of the circadian rhythm, was for the rishis and yogis a spiritual transducer. The point where the energy of the individual aligns with the intelligence of the whole. Sacred sounds, such as mantras, are not just spiritual expressions. They are vibrational technologies. They reconfigure the body's electromagnetic field, dissolve emotional densities, and amplify spiritual listening. They are activation codes. And there's more. Symbols such as the Sri Yantra are not just art. They are geometric languages that vibrate. Each line, each intersection, each triangle contains a frequency. When meditating on this symbol, the brain enters a state of coherence. The mind organizes itself. The field harmonizes. This practice creates a space where visualization is no longer imagination. It is vibrational construction. Visualizing with the body present, with aligned breathing and true emotion, is like programming the field. You send out such a strong and coherent signal that the universe has no choice but to reflect it. In Vedic wisdom, this is expressed clearly, Yad Bhavam Tad Bhavati. As you feel, so you become. Manifestation does not begin with wanting. It begins with being. When you say, I am abundant, and you truly feel it, without doubt, without anxiety, you activate a vibrational wave. And that wave expands. It collides with other realities and reorganizes experience. The pineal gland, sound, breath, symbols, all are means. Destiny is reconnecting with what has always been within you. The power to co-create with the universe, not through force, but through resonance. And this is not theoretical. It is practical. It is sensitive. It is tangible. When you begin to vibrate with truth, reality begins to respond in unexpected ways. People appear. Paths open up. Obstacles disappear. Not because you force them, but because you aligned yourself. The secret is this. The universe responds to what is stable, to what is coherent, to what is vibrated with clarity. And to achieve this clarity, you need to remove noise. Repressed emotions, limiting beliefs, old fears, all of these contaminate the field. That is why internal healing practices are so essential. Not to fix you, but to clear the channel. The truth is that you are not broken. You're just covered by layers of noise. When these layers fall away, natural light emerges. And it is this light that communicates with the whole. You don't need to beg for miracles. You need to become the space where miracles happen. Have you noticed how some people manifest with ease, while others struggle without results? It's not luck. It's field. Those who manifest with ease have learned to align their thoughts, emotions, actions, and intentions. They don't say I want, they say I am, and they live accordingly. They feel before they see. They vibrate before they act. This is the new spirituality, an embodied spirituality, conscious, practical, and it begins with a simple recognition. You are the universe in temporary form. This phrase may sound poetic, but when felt, it changes everything. You are not separate. You are not a lost particle in chaos. You are a living expression of an all-pervading consciousness. And that consciousness communicates with you all the time. In signs, in dreams, in coincidences, in goosebumps, in repeating numbers, in sudden sensations. This is not random. It is a response. You're being heard. But are you listening? The outside world is not static. It is the ever-changing reflection of what is being emitted from within. Your vibration shapes the forms, the encounters, the challenges. And every part of your life is responding to a part of you. You are not living a script written by someone else. You are writing it with every choice, with every feeling, with every thought. And if you want to change the chapter, change the field. But change with love, not with rigidity, with kindness, not with demands, with curiosity, not with fear. This change does not have to be drastic. It can start now. Close your eyes. Breathe. Feel. Bring to the surface a state you want to live in. Peace, joy, love, abundance. Choose one. Now, without effort, feel what it would be like if it were already present. Let your body participate. Your breath. Your heart. That's the code. That's the password. When you hold that state for a few minutes, something moves. Inside. and soon after, outside. That's why daily practices are so powerful, not because of obligation, but because of frequency. When you meditate, pray, breathe consciously, you are tuning into your field. You are clearing it. You are preparing it. And the universe loves prepared fields. When the vibration is clean, it doesn't need a shout. A whisper is enough. A symbol is enough. A thought is enough. And you begin to live in a state of constant conversation with the invisible. This is true awakening. Not seeing angels, not hearing voices, but realizing that everything around you is responding to you. That reality is not something that happens to you. It is something that happens through you. You are the creator, the receiver, the transmitter, and above all, you are the temple. The pineal gland is just the door. The heart is the altar. The vibration is the prayer. The breath is the mantra. And your consciousness is the priest. The time for searching outside is over. Now it's time to remember. You don't need to chase anything. You need to vibrate as if you already are. Because at the field level, you already are. And when you hold that frequency, time bends. Space adjusts. And reality molds itself. Your vibration is the code. Your emotion is the command. Your presence is the miracle. And the universe is the answer